Skyrim's wilderness is vast, ranging from lush fields to waterfalls flowing down the sides of great mountains, and even to icy tundras and marshlands in the north. While exploring these wilds, we may happen upon a book called Immortal Blood. This book tells the tale of Morvarth Piquine, a vampire hunter who lived in the Second Era. Morvarth met a man who, for clarity's sake, I will call Jeff. Jeff had an encyclopedic knowledge of vampires. It was this knowledge that Morvarth hoped to use in order to exterminate the blood-sucking creatures. Jeff agreed to teach Morvarth all that he knew. As Morvarth slew the vampires he was taught about, he would return to Jeff and tell him of any wrong information Jeff might have about the vampires. Eventually, Morvarth asked about a type of vampire native to Cyrodiil. Jeff explained that these vampires are the hardest to find due to the fact that they are indistinguishable from humans unless they have not fed on blood for a while. Morvarth finds this to be true, as when he next returns to Jeff, he states that he cannot find any Cyrodiilic vampires. Jeff then reveals himself as one of these vampires and attacks Morvarth, presumably killing him. The story reads in the first person, and if it is to be believed, then we must ask ourselves, why would someone chronicle their own murder? Unless nobody was killed. If, after reading this tale, we travel to the town of Morthal, we can find a ruined house covered in snow. If we are so inclined, we can ask about this house.
Trouble?
Is there a story behind that burned down house?
It's bad luck to talk about that place. Y'all's been looking for someone who ain't superstitious, though. Be looking for a fool, if you ask me.
The guard directs us to the Jarl, a lady named Idgrod Ravencrone.
So, life has brought you to Morthal, and to me. What purpose this serves we will no doubt see. Welcome.
So, I hear you want someone to look into that house fire?
Hrogar's house fire? Well, he lost his wife and daughter in the blaze. My people believe it to be cursed now. Who am I to gainsay them?
What does Hrogar say happened?
Hrogar blames his wife for spilling bear fat in the fire. Many folk think he set the fire himself.
Why would he do that?
Lust can make a man do the unthinkable. The ashes were still warm when he pledged himself to Alpha.
You haven't arrested him?
On rumor and gossip? No. But you, a stranger, might find the truth for us. Sift through the ashes that others are too fearful to touch. See what they tell you. Should you prove him guilty or innocent, I will reward you. Hrogar's fate is in your hands.
Having been tasked with finding the truth of this fire, we can head back to the house to investigate.
Keep your arrows in their quiver, Archer.
Upon our return to the house, we meet a ghost named Helgi, Hrogar's daughter.
Who's there?
Who are you?
Helgi. But Father says I'm not supposed to talk to strangers. Are you a stranger?
No, I'm a friend. Do you know what happened to your house?
The smoke woke me up. I was hot and I was scared, so I hid. Then it got cold and dark. I'm not scared anymore, but I'm lonely. Will you play with me?
Alright, but if I do, will you tell me about the fire?
Okay, let's play hide and seek. You find me, and I'll tell you. We have to wait for nighttime, though. The other one is playing too, and she can't come out until then.
What do you mean the other one?
I can't tell you. She might hear me. She's so close. If you can find me first, I can tell you.
And with that, we have a lead. We must wait until midnight to find Helgi, who is hidden on a hill just behind her house, in her own grave.
Make Laylet go away.
She requests that we make Laylet go away, but who is Laylet? We find out as she attacks us. She is a vampire, and this is why we could not play during daytime. After killing Laylet, Helgi opens up to us a bit more.
You found me! Laylet was trying to find me too, but I'm glad you found me first. Laylet was told to burn Mommy and me, but he didn't want to. He wanted to play with me forever and ever. She kissed me on the neck, and I got so cold that the fire didn't even hurt. Laylet thought she could take me and keep me, but she can't. I'm all burned up. I'm tired. I'm gonna sleep for a while now.
Helgi explains that it wasn't Hrogar, but Laylet who burned the house. She felt guilty though, and wanted to spare Helgi. She attempted to turn her into a vampire, but for some reason the transformation didn't work. As we turn around, we see a man standing over Laylet's corpse.
She's dead. Laylet is dead.
What can you tell me about your wife?
Laylet. I thought she left to join the Stormcloaks. Oh, my poor Laylet.
Did you notice anything strange about Laylet before she left?
She began to spend a lot of time with Alva. Yet just a week before, she despised her. In fact, the night she disappeared, she was supposed to meet Alva. Alva told me later that she never showed up. I never got to tell her goodbye.
I think they may have met after all.
You think Alva? But that means... Ye gods! You think Alva is a vampire?
It's a possibility we can't ignore.
No, you're wrong. You must be wrong. Laylet may have met her fate out in the marsh. I refuse to believe Alva had anything to do with this. There is no way you can prove it to the Jarl.
After dealing with some interrupting thugs, we can head to Alva's house to get proof of her involvement. Inside, we find none other than Hrogar, happily stirring his stew as if his entire family wasn't recently murdered. Entering the cellar, we find human remains to our left, still covered in blood. In the center of the room sits a coffin, in which is a notebook, Alva's notebook. The pages within describe Alva's first meeting with Hrogar, as well as her orders from Morvarth. The vampire hunter turned vampire has plans to enslave Morthal and use the people there as cattle. The book also explains how Alva ordered Laylet to burn Hrogar's house down because his family was inconveniencing her. With this journal as proof of Alva's wrongdoing, we can return to the Jarl and see what she has to say.
Favor the bow, eh? I'm a swordman myself.
You need to leave.
Tamriel is full of wisdom and madness. Is Hrogar innocent or not?
Alva set the fire. She's the murderer.
Alva? Huh, didn't think she had it in her.
There's more. She's a vampire.
I assume you have proof? Can't go making accusations like that without proof.
I found this journal after breaking into her house.
So it's true, the traitorous bitch. Morthal owes you a debt. Here, you were promised a reward for solving the crime, but I need one more favor from you. Morthal is still in danger. The journal mentions Morvarth, a master vampire I thought was destroyed a century ago. I'll gather together some able-bodied warriors to clean out Morvarth's lair. They'll be waiting outside for you to lead them. Until next time.
From here, if we head outside, we see a group of warriors ready to slay the vampire.
Take us to Morvarth's lair.
Take us!
She's dead.
You want to help?
I want vengeance for my wife. Vengeance for Laylette. We're marching on Morvarth's lair, whether you come with us or not.
Yeah!
And so, the townsfolk run northeast to Morvarth's lair. It is notable that the Jarl thought that Morvarth was slain a century ago. Does this mean that another vampire slayer attempted to kill him but failed? Or maybe even the vampire who converted Morvarth tried to kill him? And why did Jeff, the vampire, not simply kill Morvarth the first time? After all, Morvarth was a vampire slayer, and if anyone was a danger, it was him. As we sneak through the cave, we see many enemies, and slay them all. As we come to a divergence in the path, the one on our right takes us to a dumping ground, where 3 carts sit filled with the bloody bones of Morvarth's victims. The left path takes us to a sort of preparation room, where we see one of Morvarth's thralls looting a corpse.
Gold left in your pockets, don't you, my friend? Yes. Let me just take this coin purse off your hands for you. And those nice boots you've got there.
He is standing in a pile of freshly lain corpses, all to be eaten by Morvarth. As we round a final corner, we see Morvarth sitting at the head of a table. Two arrows end him. The vampire slayer who was turned into the very creature he despised most. The man who intended to enslave a town and who ordered a family burned alive is now reduced to nothing more than a corpse rotting in a cave.